to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queens.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
One of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regret, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of every Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. when you touch one of mine, you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got...
This is the sound of Image by
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Daily Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get this party started. Okay, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr_A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr_A_Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. And as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. All right. Hello, Pearly, Jane, Mr. Elevation, that Crazy Beach Aries. Angela is here. All right. Desmond in the house. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. All right. Locked Queen Candy J. All Hell Nah is here. All right. So let's get into it. Courtney J. I see you. December White. Okay. So if you missed the live that I did earlier this morning on the main channel, please go back and watch. I had some very good updates on Diddy. He is actually on a watch for someone who might want to take themselves out. Y'all know I'm not going to say the S word. But I did that video this morning, probably around 5 o'clock, I think, something like that. But anyway, make sure you go back and watch it. And I'll be back shortly with another update on Diddy. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Remember, it doesn't cost you a single thing. So let's talk about it, because there was a judge that was shot in Kentucky, and the judge was actually shot by a police officer. Okay. Oh, it's so crazy. Now, so I'm going to go to the press conference. Lights up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry. I'm looking at something. I have a couple of videos with similar titles. Hold on one second. Okay, here it is. All right, so let's get into this, because like a Kentucky sheriff has been arrested for taking his life. So I find this also egregious. Now let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen. Here we go.
That Sheriff, Michigan Sheriff Mickey Sean Steins fired at District Judge Kevin Mullins following an argument inside the courthouse.
Now, was there any motive, or was this just, did he go there to do that, or what?
At this time, that's questions that we're still trying to get answers to. What led up to the actual shooting itself and the moments prior to.
Sir, did the shooting take place inside the judge's chambers?
That's correct.
Was anyone else present?
There was other people present inside the building as well.
But not inside the chambers?
Not that I'm aware of.
Is there video, a camera that's inside that chamber?
As far as I'm aware, I think there is video from within the facility.
Are you able to tell us where those gunshots were at?
As far as locations, I do not. That's information that I don't know. And again, that's stuff that will be uncovered and identified later on.
How many shots?
At this time, we don't know.
Did you speak to any of the witnesses you mentioned?
Me personally, I did not. Every witness that was inside the building will be interviewed as standard protocol throughout the investigation.
Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and call BS. Okay, he's sitting there acting like he doesn't know anything. Every question they ask him is, I don't know, we don't know at this time. First of all, if you don't know any damn thing, why are you holding a press conference, sir? Okay, we didn't need him to hold a press conference to tell us that the judge had been shot by the sheriff. That was already going to be told on the news. Now, why is he sitting up there giving a press conference if he has no answers to any of the questions? Okay, he knows exactly what happened. He knows how many shots were fired. He knows where the man was shot at. Okay, I'm sure he knows, because when the paramedics got there, the first responders, quite frankly, I'm sure the officers on scene saw them tending to the wounds as they rendered him medical aid. Okay, So please make it all make sense. He's just covering because it's another police officer who did it. Now, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. And then when they asked him, do you know if he came there to do that? And he said, I don't know. You do know. Okay, he came there to do it. Because why was he in the sheriff's chambers? Okay, I want you all to think about this. If this cop was so low down and nefarious that he would just shoot a judge of all people and in the man's own chambers, what do you think he was doing on the sides of roads when he was pulling over pedestrians? What do you think he was doing when he was pulling over drivers, shall I say? What do you think he was doing when he would just see pedestrians walking down the street? Maybe a good old stop and frisk for no reason other than his own nefariousness? I have a whole lot of questions. Yes, he's playing dumb, Luna. Absolutely. Now let's continue because it's all nefarious.
Turn himself in.
That's correct. He was arrested on scene without incident shortly after officials arrived.
Do you believe this is personal?
At this time, I'm unable to answer.
Do we know if he's cooperated yet?
As far as I know, yes.
Do we know what charges are pending?
Sheriff Steins was placed under arrest and transported to a correctional facility. He was charged with one count of murder in the first degree.
Now, will the sheriff's office have any, will they be helping out with this investigation?
The Kentucky State Police will take the lead on this. Post 13 detectives will be carrying the investigation.
I know schools were placed on lockdown in the area and students were held back. Is there any advice or what is going to go on tomorrow with schools or businesses that might be interested in closing, staying open?
So this was an isolated incident. We did place the school on temporary lockdown because we didn't know exactly what we were dealing with. Once we were here and was able to clear the scene and deemed that there was no further threat to public, we went ahead and released that lockdown and they went on about their day.
There are a lot of rumors going on social media right now, and it seems tensions might be high within this community. Is there anything that you can say to people right now?
We could use everybody's prayers, send prayers to the family that they get through this difficult time.
And from, Laurel to Russell to now Letcher County, what is these past couple of weeks been like for the state police?
Very busy. It's been very busy, but that's what we're here to do. We're going to carry out and do our jobs in the way we need to.
Do you know how much longer you guys might be out here?
We should be able to clear the scene within the next 30 minutes.
Any idea what's next for the sheriff? I mean, what does this community do without a sheriff?
That will be handled by somebody else in the days coming. But as of right now, we'll continue to carry out our investigation.
From my understanding, this is the first time something like this has happened in this area. Can you confirm?
As far as I'm aware, I don't know of anything of this magnitude.
And then I'm talking just with people in this area.
Okay, so he has that big, deep voice for no reason. He has that nice, deep voice for no reason because he's clearly not putting it to use. Okay, please pay attention. Sitting there just not telling us what we need. Luna said he even sounds funny. He has a deep voice, but at the end of the day, he's been very, he's just not being transparent. Okay, that's all I'm saying. The only thing he said was that the officer has been arrested and that he's charged with murder. That's it. Everything else was, I don't know. I can't answer that at this time. And this and that. Man, shut up. Why are you holding a press conference? Oh, hell no. I said their voice is nice. Okay, yes, being evasive, says Angela. Okay, that's the word I was looking for, beloved. Thank you. Now, anyway, so let's go to a TikTok that my friend Prophet P.I. did, because the TikTok just gives more information than he was giving, because, honey, I don't know what he was thinking. But anyway, let's continue. Lights up. Here we go.
Well, this is truly sad, you guys. This right here was Judge Kevin Mullins. And this right here is the sheriff, Mickey Steins. They're up there in Letcher County in Kentucky. This just happened not too long ago today up there in Kentucky. And this sheriff went to the district judge's office and unalived him. Literally, he just unalived him. It seems like it was personal. That's what it seems like. For you to go to the courthouse, to the district judge's office and unalive him. Wow. He's in custody, y'all. He's sitting right now in the jail that he put other people in.
Letcher County coroner confirming to us a death in the shooting at the Letcher County Courthouse. The Mount Eagle is reporting that the Letcher County Sheriff Mickey Steins has been arrested following a shooting there at the Letcher County Courthouse. The Mount Eagle reports Steins allegedly shot a district judge, Kevin Mullins, in his office at the courthouse. We know several area schools were placed on a lockdown this afternoon due to that shooting. We are working to learn more details. We do have a crew en route to that scene on their way to Letcher County.
Prayers go out to his family. It really does. But like I said, this seemed like it was personal for somebody to go up to your office, the sheriff, to go to your courthouse and unalive you. Hopefully we'll find out why it happened. Like I said, it seemed like it was personal, but we'll find out why this happened. This right here is, whoa. These are times of distress. These are times of lawlessness, you guys. Wow.
At the end of the day, I think it was personal too. Okay, was the man sleeping with his wife or something? I don't know, but it definitely was personal for him to go all the way to the courthouse and go in his chambers and then take him out. Okay, this sounds like something I'd watch on an episode of Power. This is all crazy. All right, Courtney J said probably a woman. That's exactly what I'm thinking, honey. Like I said, maybe messing around with somebody's wife or something. I mean, I shouldn't be speculating, but clearly I am. So please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, prayers and condolences to the family of the judge, to the sheriff that shot him. Well, I hope he gets exactly what's coming. Because like I said before, if he was nefarious enough to go and shoot that judge in the chamber at the courthouse, there's no telling what he did when nobody was looking, okay? To people that he was just arresting or whatever. So now let's talk about Javion. Now, I told you all the other day that Javion McGee was in fact in Walmart purchasing a blue rope. But now the families come out. Okay. So the family has come out, and here's the thing. The police chief or the sheriff, he lied. Remember when he came out and said that the man wasn't hanging from a tree? He was just sitting up against the tree with a rope around his neck, but it wasn't even a knot in it. That's what he said. It wasn't a noose. The family said he's lying. They said the man was hanging from a tree. They said the man was lynched. Not the way you would normally see someone lynched, but they said he was lynched nonetheless. So why was that man sitting up there lying? But see, this is what they always do when someone perpetuates a criminal hate act on somebody who looks like me. This is what they do. So likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go. I'm going to the press conference.
Sorry. Good afternoon. Sorry for our charges. I know we planned to be at 12:30, but we're speaking to the investigators here at the Vales County Sheriff Office. Along with myself, Lee Merritt, Jason Keith. We stand here with the McGee family. Javion's father, Corey, his mother, his stepfather, Marcus. Mom, come here. I want you to introduce yourself. I want to.
One moment. For purposes of the media, we're going to do something quick. My name is Lee Merritt, Leemerritt. We're going to have Javion's mom and his dad step to the microphone and spell their name for us. And this is step back. Yep.
There's nothing to take away from it. We are here for one reason only. And that sign says very clear, get justice for Javion and the McGee family. To ensure that we get transparency in this process. I know the sheriff, they have sent this case over to the State Bureau of Investigation, Attorney General, to do a further investigation in this particular matter. At this time, let me be very clear. The manner and the cause of death of Javion has not been determined at this time. The manner and cause of death has not been determined. So for any suggestion that it's a suicide, anybody stating that it was a suicide would be grossly premature, right, Lee? Grossly premature. Well, we do know we have a young black man hanging from a tree in North Carolina. When I say hanging, not a traditional feet dangling, but nevertheless, a tree, a rope was tied to his neck, around his neck, and tied to a tree. So the next steps here, obviously, continued transparency from the sheriff office. His family came out from Chicago and Texas. You can imagine the phone call they received about the loss of their son, Javion, which was something that no parent should receive. No parent should have to bury their child whatsoever under any circumstances. But we are here to ensure that the investigation move forward. I don't care if it's in Vance County, Chicago, Illinois, Los Angeles, California. You would not call the family and tell them a suicide and the investigation is not complete. That's invoking Lee, myself, Jason, and other attorneys and civil rights activists to come here to make sure the investigations is carried out properly. Because anybody, it don't matter who you are, if somebody receive a phone call as such troubling as this and say, hey, this is what we believe would happen, come get your loved one, that's a red flag. The parents they didn't have the opportunity to see the body or any pictures to even identify Javion. Today was the first day they saw pictures to identify that it was in fact Javion. So we need to make sure throughout this entire process, wherever the facts result may lead, we need to make sure it's a thorough investigation. One thing we can be very clear, no matter what the findings are or an investigation, nobody can say exactly what happened at that particular time. I wasn't there. The sheriff, whoever else does the investigation was not there. We don't have a video of that. But we do know that, like I stated before, Javion had a rope tied around his neck, and that rope was tied to a tree. The tree is about, 8 feet off the ground, the limb about 8 feet off the ground, Lee. So with that being said, we're going to have more questions. I'm going to bring up Jason. And I think, anybody want to put a family speak? Okay. All right, we're going to bring up Jason Keith. He's a local council in North Carolina.
First of all, look, I would like to say we would like to thank Lee Merritt, Harry Daniels, and this is Andrew Covington with me for coming. You might ask, why are we here? Accountability, transparency. The community needs answers, and we're here to apply pressure. Lee has flown in from Texas. Harry's flown in from Georgia. I'm out of Greensboro. Covington's out of Raleigh. We're here for answers, and we're not leaving until we get them. The family deserves them. And we've seen the videos, we've seen the photographs, and this investigation is not complete. This investigation is too premature for any determination to be made what happened. What we want is we want answers. We want them now. We want them as soon as possible. And we want the system to work, because this family should not be in a position where they get a phone call about this young man coming into this county, working his job, and that he's found hanging from a tree. And the pictures, it's horrible. And this county deserves to explain, to spend the resources to let us know every detail of what happened. And that's what we're here for. And so I think Harry was right. I think Lee was right. I think Covington, everybody, we're here to apply pressure, and that's what we're going to do. And we're going to stay as long as it takes. And we're going to talk to who we need to talk to, and we're going to make as much noise as we need to get answers, to get the truth, and to make sure there's justice for Javion.
Like the other council said, we're here to get answers and justice, and we're not going to leave until we get that. There's no reason why we don't already have these answers, and we're going to work as hard as we can until we get them.
A moment ago, Lieutenant Bishop from the Vance County Sheriff's Department spoke with the family at length. The meeting lasted about 2 hours, where we began to get into the actual evidence that's currently in their possession. Some significant points were made. I'm open to any questions that you all might have about that. One thing that we found conclusively, and I'll back up a moment ago, as I mentioned, my name is Lee Merritt. I'm a civil rights attorney. The reason that the family has asked me to be a part of this case is because we're not investigating a personal injury case or wrongful death case. We're investigating the lynching of a young man in 2024. It would be a misnomer to say that that kind of thing doesn't happen anymore. We saw a public lynching in the murder of Ahmad Arbery. We've seen public lynchings or the racialized killings of individuals, and it's something that needs to continue to be investigated and taken seriously. Unfortunately, in this country, we haven't dealt with our ghosts of racism and lynching, and so we often want to sweep it under the rug. The family has brought in these attorneys to ensure that that does not happen. Concerning what we have found, the medical examiner's report determined that there was bruising along the neck and a broken neck bone, which means that he indeed, we're learning, we're working on gathering additional evidence to see what that actually means. I'll stop there and open it up to myself or the attorneys or any of the members of the family for questions.
I don't have $1 million to spend on cameras, mics, and teleprompters, but that's fine. Because with the script, I have all the tools I need.
What makes you think that's the case as opposed to other possibilities at this point?
Yeah, I don't think it's the case. To answer your question, I don't know that lynching or a hate crime is in fact the case. What we discovered was that Mr. McGee came into this county on September 11th, and he died by hanging from his neck. The sheriff concluded early on, and we believe prematurely, that it seemed to be a suicide to him. Well, that doesn't seem to be a suicide for me. I don't know too many 21-year-old gainfully employed, happy individuals that travel into North Carolina, buy a rope, and kill themselves.
And let me just interject right here and say this. Now, the reporter asked him, why does he think that's the case? Basically, that someone lynched him. Well, did she ask the sheriff that when he said that it was he had done this to himself? Okay, I'm sorry. Please make it all make sense. And here's the thing. If I were him, when she asked that question, what makes you think that's what it is? I would have said, because this country has a centuries-old history of this happening to Black people, being lynched, okay, and hung by trees, by their necks until they were dead. There's a history of that in this country. Isn't that what you would first think if you saw a Black man tied to a tree or hanging from one? Wouldn't that be the first thing that most people with common sense would think? That's what I would have asked her. Because stop playing with us. Stop playing with us. But let's continue.
That would be an oddity. It's a possibility, but we would need more evidence before we jump to that conclusion. My job, the reason I was hired, was to investigate a lynching, to investigate the possibility of a hate crime, and to direct the family to wherever the evidence goes.
You know, we've heard a little bit from the sheriff about the timetable leading up to this, but as you mentioned, not entirely forthcoming. Can you kind of put together, at least from the family standpoint, the beforehand? You know, when was the last time he was in contact with them, and kind of the timetable that you've been able to figure out?
Yeah, the sheriff should be releasing a detailed timeline today to the media. I don't know if they'll be having a press conference themselves, but they have indicated to us that a timeline will be released as best as they can gather, do their investigation. So as relates speaking to the family, it's my understanding Javion was excited about going to Houston, Texas, and spending times with his cousins. So there's no indication whatsoever that he had any ulterior motives or ulterior thoughts as to whether, you know, he had any thoughts of self-demise. So there's nothing here. And this, let me be very clear. This is why Ms. McGee, Ms. Robeson, and her husband are here. The family's here. Because there's no indication whatsoever the 21 years he was on earth that they brought him here and raised him to show any signs that he would commit suicide. That's why they're here. So to be very clear, there's nothing, no mental health, anything that capacity, no depression. And like Lee said, a 21-year-old is working, gainfully employed, gonna come to rural North Carolina and say, you know what, I'm gonna end it all here. Doesn't make sense. Any other questions?
And from the family reviewing the Walmart surveillance video, I mean, that's the last video that we've seen of them. Just no one knows him better than his family. Have been able to figure out anything from his demeanor or kind of your thoughts on that?
That Walmart video, that's the last video that y'all have seen, right, as the media have seen this time. But it's other videos that the family have in fact received for his going to the Hampton Inn. The question is, what was he doing there in that location? Well, he went to the Hampton Inn. They had no room. So he went to where traditionally truck drivers that's coming through here would go. And normally, if you would go, it doesn't make sense to go around where other truck drivers would be at to go kill yourself. If you're going to kill yourself, you find a road down here that nobody's down and you do it down there. I mean, it does. The facts and the things doesn't make sense as to a mentality, a mindset of a person who's wanting to kill themselves. Now, I understand about the buying a rope at Walmart as a truck driver. It's a lot of reasonable explanations for that. You know, you got a lot of times these trucks, and Dad is a seasoned truck driver. A lot of trucks have universal keys that other doors, other keys from other trucks can open if it's the same make and model. So if I'm sleeping in the middle of nowhere, you got to think about it. If you're sleeping in the middle of nowhere in a truck and somebody else can possibly get in your truck, you go around safety with numbers. So it's a lot of reasonable explanations that we believe why a rope was purchased. You know, I know with the optics, it looks like you get a rope, the next thing you found hanging from a tree. And if somebody can jump that conclusion. But you know, I went to school in North Carolina Central School of Law. I think it's the best law school in the nation. It's definitely North Carolina. You don't jump. Now I know you may not agree. You don't jump from buying a rope at Walmart and somebody hanging and say they committed suicide. We got things called evidence and facts that we must go through. And what was lacked here at the beginning of his family, the evidence, the facts had not been developed before you make a conclusion that he killed himself.
These devils are trying to paint narratives. I want you to pay attention. These reporters know what they're doing. They're trying to paint a narrative to go along with what the police have already said, that there's nothing to see here, folks. He did this to himself. Because they're asking them all these questions. They're grilling them. They want to know, how are you arriving at these decisions or whatever. But they didn't ask the sheriff all of that. And you don't go from someone purchasing a rope and then all of a sudden you think that they just took themselves out. And like he said, why would he come to North Carolina? First of all, it would seem to me that someone would do that at least in the state where they reside. Okay, so the family doesn't have to travel to get their body and things like that. Okay, I'm sorry. This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Okay, yes, Mr. Elevation said the fix is in. It absolutely is. We can just tell how this is already going. But hold on, there's more, because I'm going to show you some evidence in a minute, and that really looks like something shady is going on. Okay, so let's keep going.
Not on my watch, not on Lee's watch. And that's exactly why we're here to support this family.
I want to just further your question concerning the timeline. And it's important that the sheriff's office should release the timeline. There's evidence. Is this why? There's additional video showing up to almost hours before his death. And so there is
I want to share the story to me, and I wanted to do a little.
From the time
I just want to point out several things. For safety, because Juju even played it. That was an Ozark rope, 50 foot. The max weight is 195 pounds. Did he do something to Javion?
We are still in the investigation terms gathering evidence concerning whether or not he was assaulted. In terms of his physical body, there's bruising about his body that could be consistent with him hanging from a tree and being exposed to the elements for an extended period of time. There's also an additional way to translate that evidence to say that he was bruised or hurt or injured by others.
Are you pursuing an independent autopsy?
At this time, no.
Depending on what's found in this investigation, are you guys planning on filing some kind of potential complaint or anything of that nature moving forward?
Yes, ma'am. Depending on the outcome of the investigation, we are speaking with the family and considering additional legal action.
Based on what the sheriff is saying, is he able to say more to the public, or he's pretty much limited in what he can say to the public?
Well, I don't say necessarily think he's limited what he can say to the public. You got to be mindful that it is an ongoing investigation. You don't want certain things that put out there to disturb that investigation. So those are things that you don't understand as law enforcement, that you don't want to put certain things out just in case you have a lead for a possible suspect. So we definitely appreciate and understand that aspect. But this is something that also that we have to take into consideration. You know, as this thing continue to play out and more evidence come in, and if authorities, maybe need additional help, that's something we may be seeking redress from the Department of Justice to trigger the Federal Bureau of Investigation come in, because they're usually the lead people to investigate these type of matters, especially when you're talking about a hate crime, specifically in the federal laws. I don't know if North Carolina have any hate crime statutes or things that capacity, but I know the federal government, the federal codes, in fact, do, and that's something we may be invoking, considering what the facts and the evidence may lead us.
Concerning the sheriff's statements to the public, I think that the sheriff has been rather cavalier about the evidence that he chose to release, and he's released in a very piecemeal manner that has actually caused this confusion. I find it distracting that he seems to be more focused on what's being said on TikTok then it's responsibility here as the sheriff to get to the bottom of the what happened and then get that information quickly to the family, even before he gets them to the media. I would advise him not to do that or to change his practice concerning that.
Do y'all have privilege of the information the public does not?
Yes.
Any other questions? Look, you try to hold a question to the media. I know you may a lot of people have questions, but any media have a different questions.
When was the last time that the family spoke to Javion before he made his way to Henderson?
Last time you talked to him?
Talked to him maybe a couple of days before this.
According to Dad, a couple of days before it happened. Any other questions?
So the sheriff or the representative for the family said that in the preliminary information that they had gotten regarding the autopsy, that there was nothing found.
I absolutely love using BetterHelp. Therapy, just in general, has changed my life. It's made.
I'm sorry. Who said that?
The family representative, Matthews.
Okay.
And she said that there was nothing found under the fingernails, and that was more cause for suspected foul play. Why is that? And if that's the case, why aren't you guys seeking your own separate autopsy?
Well, I think the question is, why is there any? You say independent wounds or anything defensive wounds. I think that's what you're referring to. From my understanding, from the investigators, from the preliminary findings, there was nothing to that capacity. Just because they have not been done this time, don't mean it's not proved out. I think the family now is in possession of Javion's body, and we're going to explore every angle, position to determine what happened. And I think from the initial statements we made, might have been premature, but here we are the representatives of the family, and anything that happens moving forward, we want to speak on behalf of the family.
And I'm sorry, at this time, we have not performed an independent autopsy as the body has been in the possession of the medical examiner. We are in the process of recovering the body, and the family does plan to move forward with an independent autopsy at that time. What we have been told is what you've heard from the sheriff, that there were no defensive wounds on the body. Thank you.
We do know that Javion was traveling and had stopped at that Walmart. Do we know where his final destination was or where he was planning on going?
Well, according to the timeline, he was going to the Hampton Inn here, and I don't know where it's exactly located at, but Hampton is fairly close to the Walmart Supercenter here. I think about a half a mile of that. That was his intentions. He went there. He got out of his truck. He walked. It's on camera. He walked in with his bag, his belongings, and he had a brief conversation with the clerk. And from my understanding, upon investigation by the Vance County Sheriff's Office, that the clerk told him that there was no vacancies, no availability. So those are things that we believe that he had intentions to stay there. But for the vacancies, he ended up going to, and it's not a truck stop. Let me be very clear. It's a commonly known area, I guess, where truckers go. I think, yeah. So I think the truck stop thing is not really a truck stop. So he went over there, and that's a normal practice for people that's hauling loads through here that would stop over there. So at some point, he obviously knew that is a location. And usually truckers, and Dad can tell you this, truckers feel safer in numbers. You know, it doesn't make sense for a person who had this ideology or mindset to kill themselves to come around with other people for safety in numbers. So, I mean, in that case, the person need to be safe from is yourself. Why would you go around other people?
Based on the other surveillance videos that you guys have seen, are there other people or is there another person that people?
Okay, so I'm gonna go to this other video, but I want you all to pay attention. At the end of the day, do you all notice how these black men who come up deleted, they're usually in a different state, okay, across county lines from where they normally reside, working. Do you all notice that? Because a few years ago, maybe 4 to 5 years ago, 3 to 5 years ago, there was a black man who was driving a truck, and he too was found lynched. Now, he was inside of his truck. His hands had been cuffed behind his back, okay, and there was a rope around his neck. So he was driving a truck too. And then let's not forget the case of Rasheem Carter, who was also out of town working down in Mississippi when he turned up deceased. Okay. And they didn't find his body for over a month. And then it was all in scattered pieces. Okay, so I just find this all very interesting at the end of the day. But let me just go to the next video because there's some of these officers who were involved in this. One of them supposedly lives across the street from where Javion was. And then the other, there's a few of them that were actually on a Brady list. Okay, so let's get into it. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Now, in my last 3 videos, I've been telling you guys, there's a certain person that lives across the street from the area where he was taken out. So I've been doing a little bit more digging because that 911 call has everybody looking at this entire case side-eye. Remember when I showed you guys this road right here, Vanco Mill Road? There's the TNR truck trailer repair. There's a house right here. There's a church right over there. Then Shell's back down the street. Now, it's going up a little bit further because these are where a lot of the trucks park at also when it comes to people parking, but there's also a trailer repair place. But I want you to notice something because over here in the woods over here, right up through that way, let me back up a little bit. Right over there is where Javion was found. Now, remember, I said there's a former police officer or an officer who lives across the street from that entire area, right? Directly across the street from TNR. Guess what I found? I found this right here. The 3 officers that have been charged. Well, they're now former officers. But I found that the 3 officers, Bobby Dean Bolton, Richard Allen Coleman, and Sergeant William Randolph Curran. Now, they were indicted by a grand jury back in 2015. Now, one name stood out to me when it came to this entire case right here. Told y'all the chickens are coming home to roost. This name right here, William Randolph Curran. He's a former detective in the Henderson-Vance County Vice Unit. Now, Curran and these other 2 detectives or officers, deputies, they're all former. They were charged with delivering narcotics to a suspected narcotics dealer. Whoa. Curran is also charged with keeping 2 handguns and a pair of binoculars seized during a narcotics raid. He was also charged and caught with taking out he took a scope off of a seized rifle, but also changed his out. He put his old one on there and took the new one. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. So as I was digging, I saw that he is on the Brady list. Yeah, he's on the Brady list. And he's the one who lives on that road. But as I was looking at the Brady list in that county right there, I found some other stuff. I found this officer on the Brady list, this officer on the Brady list, this officer on the Brady list, again, another officer on the Brady list, and yet again, and again, yet another, and another, and yet another. And you guessed it, another. Sheriff Brain, is this why you obscured and messed up and tried to block the 911 caller? You made all the voices sound kind of different. You didn't want to, what's going on? Is this why? I don't think that y'all expected this thing to hit the internet like it does. I think that's why you guys are trying to get rid of this type of app, because the public is finding out nationwide that the chickens are getting ready to come home to roost. This is 2024. God is pulling off the fig leaves. And guess what? This app is the light to all the darkness that is going on in the world. Click.
Okay, so that all sounds very nefarious. Now, in case you're wondering what the Brady list is, well, that is a list that is compiled by either the police department or the prosecutor's office or both, and they have listed on there the names of officers who are untrustworthy due to them doing something corrupt, them being convicted of something. And if they're convicted, you should ask yourself, why are they still police officers? But they can still be convicted, apparently. So they've either been convicted or they've done something nefarious and they've gotten caught and gotten in trouble. And so they put them on a Brady list. So that way, and this was a Supreme Court decision with a guy by the name of Brady and something. I forgot what he exactly did, but that's the case that set precedence for it. And, if a police officer who's on the Brady list has some type of interaction or makes an arrest and then has to go to court, well, it has to be exposed in court that that officer is on the Brady list. Okay? At least it's supposed to be, not saying that they do it, because you all know how they get down. So that's what it is. And so those officers on Brady list, that means they were engaging in some nefarious practices. So clearly can't be trusted. And mind you, one of them lives right across the street from where Javion's body was found. Okay? Right across the street. So anyway, likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Now let's talk about this peeping Tom. I've got something for you. Angry Florida dad with baseball bat chases Michael Myers t-shirt wearing peeping Tom, peering into daughter's bedroom. Peering into the daughter's bedroom window. This is all crazy. Let me just put this mug up here on the screen. Okay, that's him right there. Now here's what happens. They say Damon Smith, okay, is in the Flagler County Jail. Flagler County Jail. Now, cops in Florida arrested a man who was allegedly peeping into the window of a 14-year-old girl while she was in the bedroom. He was chased away by her baseball bat wielding father. Damian Smith, age 29, is facing charges of aggravated stalking, prowling, and voyeurism, according to records. Now, deputies from the Flagler County Sheriff's Office were dispatched to a home in Palm Coast shortly before 10 p.m. on Friday for a suspicious incident. Now, the victim's father said he was sitting, hold on, pop-ups. So the victim's father says that he was sitting outside of his home with a bat because a man was creeping around his house. Okay, and there was a probable cause arrest affidavit that gave this information. Now they say the dad said he first encountered the man on Thursday night and decided to sit out on Friday night and wait to see if he would show up again. Now, while the father was waiting at home Friday night, a silhouette of a person wearing white shoes emerged into his yard. According to the cops, the father said he witnessed the suspect put his face against his daughter's window with his hands cupped around his eyes, clearly desperate. Okay, the father then swung the baseball bat at him, and Smith ran, and the father gave chase. First of all, I wouldn't have had a baseball bat. I'd have had Smith & Wesson, okay? You can run, but you can't hide, is all I'm saying. And second of all, what are you doing peeping in that window? Okay, for the second time in a row. Yeah, I probably would have feared for my life. But let me continue. So goes on to say, call the cops, somebody call the cops. This is what the father says on a home surveillance video obtained by Orlando Fox affiliate, WOFL. Say, where are you going? Come here, I got something for you. Now, the father lost sight of Smith after tripping over some bushes, according to the affidavit. Neighbors identified Smith as a possible suspect who lives nearby and is known to walk around the neighborhood wearing white shoes. Deputies went to Smith's home to interview him. Now, he reportedly told them that he was walking around the neighborhood and showed them the white shoes he was wearing. They had mud on them, according to the police reports, and there was also mud on his elbow. And he told cops that he fell when he was out. Now, Smith showed them the dirty t-shirt he was wearing that depicted Michael Myers from the Halloween movie franchise with the quote, "Everyone is entitled to a good scare." Now, he reportedly admitted that he ran from some guy who was chasing him while he was walking between houses, he says. He also allegedly admitted to being in the same area the night before, where clearly he's the culprit. So when I asked why he goes around people's homes, he simply stated something along the lines of he gets a thrill and an adrenaline rush from it. Very strange. Now, there have been several reports of a man looking into windows in the area over the last few months. The victim's father told the media that he's just glad that the alleged culprit has been arrested. This man is sick. Says, I don't know what his intentions are, if it was something that was going to escalate over time and that Michael Myers was his role model or what. But we might have just got him in time. And so the suspect's remaining in jail with an $86,000 bond. And he deserves every bit of it, as far as I'm concerned. Idiot. What was he up to? What kind of weird freak goes peeking in people's windows? Honey, you let me catch somebody peeking in my window. Honey, that'll be the last time they do it to me or anybody else, is all I'm saying. Okay, and so with that all being said, a dad admits to stabbing his wife as the teen son tried to save her. Let's put his picture up here on the screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Oh, so there he is. Now, so let's talk about it. Because Rizard Murovsky, That's his name. Sounds Russian. Okay, a New York man facing up to life in prison after stabbing his wife to death and injuring his son as he tried to protect her. Poor child. Now, Murawski, age 44, pleaded guilty Tuesday to second-degree murder and the death of Violetta Murawski, age 38. Okay, this happened in her backyard on Long Island in January. According to a statement from the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office, they say Rizard Murawski attacked his wife on January the 3rd of 2024 at around 8:30 p.m. Now, the Suffolk County Police received a 911 call from the couple's 15-year-old son stating that his father had stabbed his mother and then fled in a black GMC pickup truck, according to the prosecutor's statements. They say the teen, distraught during the duration of the call, begged the police for help as he desperately tried to save his mother's life. Can you imagine this little 15-year-old sitting there trying to fight and help his mother, and then only for her to be killed by this fool? This is all so sad. But anyway, goes on to say that he desperately tried to save his mother's life. Now, he told police that he heard his mother screaming for help in the backyard as he returned home from a friend's house. He said that he ran to the backyard to discover his father stabbing his mother with a large serrated knife. Dirty devil. Okay, the Murawski son tried to stop the brutal attack. The boy jumped on his father and struggled with him until his mother was able to break free. Now, Violetta Murawski was able to stumble across the street before collapsing with her son by her side. This is all so sad. This young man's going to be traumatized for the rest of his life, likely. Now, she was taken to a hospital, but ultimately did not survive the attack. The brutal attack was apparently captured on Murawski's family home surveillance video system. After fleeing the house, the father continued to run even as police gave chase. They say multiple police units pursued Murawski for more than 7 miles with the lights and sirens blazing before the defendant lost control of his vehicle and crashed into the side of a building. Now, Murawski faces 22 years to life in prison. He is expected to return to court October the 17th. And they say this is a tragic case of domestic violence that ended with a senseless death of Violetta Murawski and horrific trauma to her child. Okay, this is what the district attorney, Raymond A. Tierney, said in a statement, saying that this defendant will now have to pay for his actions in prison. Domestic violence is never the answer, he says. That's right. That's right. If you have somebody who's putting hands on you, I don't care if you're a male or a female. If someone's putting hands on you, you need to leave right now. Okay, don't wait, because the problem's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. The longer you stay, the more entitled the abuser will become. Please trust me when I tell you. Okay, so with that all being said, very sad. My condolences to the family, friends, and loved ones of the woman, and also specifically to her son. This is also sad. Now let's talk about this other idiot, because this fool, she admitted to shooting her 6-month-old granddaughter in the eye on purpose. This wasn't no accident. She said she did it on purpose. Devil. Now I want you all to pay attention. Now let me put her mug up here on the screen. There she is. Her name is Maya Desiree Harris. Okay, so a 43-year-old Ohio grandmother admitted to shooting her 6-month-old granddaughter in the eye in a shocking case in which the baby miraculously survived. Maya Desiree Harris, 43 years old, pleaded guilty to felonious assault on Tuesday, according to online court records. Now, 2 charges relating to alleged assaults on other family members were dismissed. They say the series of events began on December the 9th. Deputies responded to a 1:50 a.m. Call to the 6800 block of Dutch View Court in Liberty Township, now about 25 miles north of Cincinnati. There was a report of an infant being shot. Now, in the 911 call, the mother told dispatchers, "My baby's been shot. My baby's been shot." Someone shot your baby? The dispatcher asked. "Yes, Lord, please save my baby." Now, they go on to say that first responders located the victim, who appeared to have suffered a gunshot wound to the head. Butler County Sheriff Richard Jones told the media that the baby was shot in the eye. The child was taken to a hospital in critical condition. Her condition has since improved beyond expectations. Well, thank God for that. Praises to the Most High. Okay, the infant victim was not the only family member Harris allegedly attempted to harm. Now, during the incident, Harris shot at several family members before intentionally shooting the child, according to the sheriff's office. A copy of a criminal complaint filed in Butler County Area 2 courts states that Harris also knowingly caused serious physical harm to another victim whose name is redacted by striking that person in the face with her fist. Harris then broke down a locked bedroom door after firing a gun through the bedroom multiple times. Okay, authorities say that Harris was quickly named as the main suspect after several witnesses identified her to detectives as the shooter. Now, she fled before deputies arrived, but was taken into custody a short time later. When asked why she did it, she told the deputies, "That was not my grandbaby. Sorry, not sorry." What? This is what Detective Daniel Turner testified to in court. She said that was not my grandbaby. Sorry, not sorry. She also told investigators that her family was trying to take all of her money and then leave her, and she was not going to allow that to happen. They crucified her, so she crucified them. That's what she says. Jones did not mince words when discussing the case. Said it wasn't an accident, it was on purpose. This is one of the most disgusting, vile criminal acts I've ever seen. Shooting a 6-month-old baby. Okay, absolutely it is. What makes it even worse is that this is the baby's grandmother, Jones told the media. She went and shot this child and doesn't appear to have any remorse whatsoever. I feel sorry for the baby. For the family, everybody that's dealing with this, the doctors, the life squad, the people, the deputies, everybody. This is as bad as it gets. Now, the sheriff also called the case disgusting and one of the worst things I've seen. Harris faces 15 years in prison when she is set to be sentenced October the 29th. I mean, what kind of devil is she? What was she thinking? Why did she want to hurt the baby? You know what? Maybe she's just so wicked and nefarious that her family ticking her off. She just wanted to pay them back. I don't know. This is all crazy. Darnicia said she was hallucinating. I don't know. I don't think she's crazy. Said mental health issues. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. She may have mental health issues. She may have mental health issues. I don't know. Some people are just wicked and nefarious as far as I'm concerned. Okay, some people are just wicked and nefarious. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about the little bad arse girl, speaking of mental health issues, who stabbed her mother or shot her mother. Okay, I'm going to share my screen for the update on this. Like stuff, everyone, please. This is her. This is them showing footage of her on body cam where she's been arrested.
Around to the front, you okay? Her handcuffed. All right, sweetie. Look, let me see. Step out real quick for me. All right. Hey, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move over around to the front. Are you okay? I'm gonna move the handcuffs around to the front of you. Okay. All right. All right. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna swab your hands. Okay. Yeah. Right. Now we'll ask you a bunch of questions, but obviously you fired with a pistol, correct? Yes, sir. Okay. All right, look. I need you to hold your hand out like this. I'm gonna do your right hand first, okay? Just your right hand. Just like that. Swab up here. What is this? It's a GSR. It shows which hand did you shoot with? Okay. Which hand did you shoot with? Alright, I'm gonna go up. Flop the hand, turn the hand over. Turn it over. And rub on the outside part around the knuckles. What do you want to get from me? I guess you can put it in my vehicle with my key and key fob is in my left pocket. Alright, so go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Alright. Was that okay? I don't know, baby. I can't talk to you about this. Are you okay? Yeah. Okay. Oh.
Okay, I want you all to pay attention to something. They were talking to her in a very nice, polite, easygoing manner. They were talking to her as if she's not a whole murderer. Did y'all notice that? They were talking to her so nice and calm, like it was just an everyday conversation. She's asking them questions, they're politely answering. I want you to pay attention to the difference of energy that they have with children who look like them than they do with the children who look like me. Now, do you all remember just a few months ago, I showed you a video of a little girl, little black girl, who was about 6 to 8 years old, and she had gotten in the car and driven her and her little brother to the store to get candy. You all remember that? Do you all remember that? And the black officer, who was a male, was very nice to the little girl. He basically went up to the car and told her to turn off the engine. However, the Caucasian female officer, Karen, was screaming, "Turn it off now! Turn it off now!" Like, why are you yelling? This is a kid. Of course, what she did is wrong, but does she know any better at this age? Oh. But see, just pay attention to how they would talk to our children, no matter how young they are. But they were talking to this whole cold-blooded killer who murdered her mother, and she's not shedding a tear. She's just having a casual conversation like, "What's this for?" "Oh, okay." I want y'all to pay attention, honey, because I absolutely cannot. All right? The devil is real, and quite frankly, it's very. Now, so they're trying to say that she had mental health issues. So let's get into it because mental health professionals testify in Gregg's trial. So let's hear what they have to say because her attorneys were trying to say that she's mentally ill. I just think she's a wicked little witch. That's what I honestly think. I don't think she has mental health issues. I think she's a wicked arse little witch. People with mental health issues don't tend to plot and plan murders. And then after you kill one person, you lure the other person to the home to kill them. That's not what people with mental illnesses usually do. That's what people who are in their right mind tend to do. So please pay attention. Okay? Please pay attention. This is all crazy. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Don't forget, it doesn't cost you a thing. Thank
you. Mental health experts were called to testify in the trial of a Rankin County teen charged in the shooting death of her mother and shooting her stepfather in their Brandon home earlier this year. They shared their findings on Carly Gregg's mental state. 16 WAPT's Crystal Tisme has been covering this trial all week. It is day 4 of the trial. Crystal, what can you tell us?
Well, Troy, like you said, Carly Gregg was evaluated by multiple mental health experts who deemed her competent to stand trial and not mentally insane based on Mississippi law. Today, the state brought up 4 mental health professionals who had encounters with Gregg before and after her mother's murder in March. One of those included Dr. Amanda Gugliano, who evaluated Gregg as a neutral party to determine if she was competent to stand trial. Gugliano said Gregg was competent but couldn't determine if she was mentally insane or not. And that's where psychiatrist Dr. Jason Pickett stepped in with his expertise in working with patients with severe mental disorders.
It was my opinion that it appeared we had started talking, as I mentioned before, about what was going on with Miss Gregg in the month leading up to the alleged offenses. And she mentioned her psychiatric medications and how she stopped one medication and started another a week before the alleged offenses, and that she had some reactions to those medications. So I recommended that a psychiatrist, a forensic psychiatrist, do the evaluation because I could not address whether any side effects or withdrawal symptoms may have been present due to medication, since that's not a specialty area of mine.
My opinion is that Carly does not meet Mississippi's standard for insanity at the time of the offense, and that she knew the nature, quality, and wrongfulness of her actions during that day.
Dr. Pickett also stated while evaluating Gregg, he felt the conversation was being led on by her attorney for a secondary gain. He also said that Carly's journal entries seemed theatrical as a possible attempt to set up a diagnosis of a mental health disorder. The defense also tried to get the charges dropped, saying the state didn't provide all the text messages between Gregg and one of her friends. But the judge denied that motion as the state showed them exactly where those messages were on the hard drive they provided. The trial's still going on inside. For now, I'm live in Brandon. Crystal Tisme, 16 WAPT News.
Okay, so I'm going to be keeping you all updated on this because I am curious to see how this all pans out. Now, mind you, they tried to act like she's crazy. Her attorneys, that is. That man said that she's not crazy. She knew exactly what was going on, and then said that her diary had some very theatrical things in there. Like she was plotting up something, okay? Like she was already, getting prepared to play crazy. So there's nothing wrong with her mind, okay? I told you all that. There's nothing wrong with her. When she went in there and shot her mother so callously and then came back, I showed you all the footage the other day for those of you who saw it. When she shot her mother so callously the other day on the video that I showed you, and then went and sat down, picked up her cell phone and was texting like nothing happened. Then you just saw her at the police car while they were putting her under arrest. She was calm, collected. She didn't express any empathy, sympathy, or any of that. Okay, not to mention the fact that she shot her stepfather as well. Now, fortunately, he lived. He was shot in the shoulder. Could have traveled to his heart. You never know how these things turn out. But thank God he's alive. This girl is a devil. Okay? This is a devil. Okay, please pay attention. But they'll sit there and coddle her and act like she didn't know what she was doing. She has mental health issues. No, she doesn't. She's in her right mind. She's in her right mind. Okay, please pay attention. And so with that all being said, Greta said, please be careful of the things you put in the chats, beloveds. Let's not talk about people along racial or ethnic boundaries, shall we? All right, so anyway, the principal Parfait said, she looks like she's one sandwich short of a picnic. Okay, she does look a little strange. All right, so with that all been said, I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Don't forget that I went live this morning on the main channel with Diddy updates, so please go check that out if you missed it. Okay, and I will be back again later because I have more information on Diddy, so please stay tuned. All right, so I love you all to life. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor. Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all much want Ahmadiyyah does. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got